Welcome to the One More Rep podcast, where we take it beyond the barbell. I'm your host, Mo Dingo, and with me in the loft on a nice, cool Sunday afternoon is Brody. Brody with a nice big jug of water.
Yeah, trying to rehydrate here.
After a
kill a bird.
Awful workout that I watched him do with his team. Some Sunday fun day action.
Yeah, it can be fun.
When you're done.
Yeah, it's a good time. Always a good time watching people suffer and then getting to suffer with them. So, but yeah.
All in the name of fitness. Speaking of fitness, we want to talk about our sponsor we talked about in our last
peeps.
episode.
Yeah.
75 Clothing. You can see them at 75clothing.com. Also 75 Clothing on Instagram. They're making badass gear for your badass ventures.
Yeah, I mean, I always think it's pivotal to when I want people to design shirts for us, that they have some sort of CrossFit background, or they know know what we like to wear.
Yeah.
And the styles. I don't like really busy shirts. Like I don't like a bunch of like affliction all over my CrossFit shirt. I'm pretty simple. Most guys are. And so I truly believe in quality, but they know what we may or may not want as CrossFitters to wear, stuff that breathes, but more importantly, when you wash it, it returns, because our stuff gets stretched out from, lifting and such. It forms right back. And I think that's critical in him doing CrossFit and being involved in the CrossFit community with that company is huge, in my opinion. Yeah,
I'd agree. Wally said he just came into CrossFit a handful of years ago, right?
Right.
And but again, like we said before, many a time we're very pro-veteran here, pro-military, with Wally being a former airman like myself. It's always cool to help out someone else who's starting off their own business, but more importantly, they make quality gear.
Something I love, dude, is that I love, I put the work in. Like if I need this business to go, I need to put the work in and get it to go properly, as far as like a direction and things that lead up to that. And talking to him was pretty cool. Is like, he lives in Tennessee. He's talking about coming up here for Smash Fest.
Yeah. And it's 5
hours.
Yeah,
drive.
That's not super close. Yeah.
But he's like, this is what I do. It doesn't bother me. He said, I'll drive all over, because the more times I can get exposure to athletes, the better I do. And a lot of people I see that have a clothing business, they'll only stay in their certain
niche area.
Their confines of their own area, and not branch out, because they don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
They want, they want to start a business, and they just want to magically grow, Mo, is what happens. And you got to put your your head down. You got to go. And if that means you got to drive, and it shows that it does. Put it this way. He was at the last competition we did in Urbana, and he came from Tennessee. He's from that area, but just, if he wasn't there, I would have never contacted him.
Yep.
If I never contacted him, we wouldn't have a place that's going to do our clothing and going to do our competition shirts and have an understanding of what we like, and what, more importantly, our women like, because what they wear is a lot different, because it's all about fitting properly. Then we've never been sponsored, Mo.
Yeah, that's absolutely, everything lined up.
Yeah.
And one thing I think you felt you didn't mention in the last episode when talking about trying to do research on 75 Clothing is the fact that they had sponsored Sebastian's competition out in Qatar at CrossFit Undisclosed. And because you said you were diving into their Instagram.
I told Jenna about it.
Yeah.
And she had heard of them, and she dove into their Instagram, and she scrolls down and was like, hey, look at this. And it was a picture of me, Sebastian, Jenna, and our other teammate, and Tarna. And I was like, what the heck? Why are we in your
why are we in your social media feed?
Yeah, like, why are we on your post? And so I sent it to him. I was like, Sebastian? He's like, yeah, I know Sebastian. He's one of our ambassadors. Like, that's my dude. That's Sebastian. And but yeah, he helped put on that event. He said he helped sponsor that event. That Sebastian really did a great job raising, I think, over $8,000 to bring equipment to the affiliate over in Qatar.
Qatar.
and for their base for maybe a generation of CrossFitters that will come through there.
Yeah, because I was there at that same location, 2015, just shortly before Sebastian was, and on average, I'd say we had a pretty decent sized community, depending on how many people are rotating in or out.
CrossFitters at any point in time.
Yeah,
and they're rotating in and out.
Yeah, every 6 to 8 months, people are rotating in and out. So, I mean, in the equipment, it's all outside, so it takes a beating. So, for the guys at 7.5 to help facilitate a fundraiser, that literally is going to help the next generations of CrossFitters that rotate through that location. I mean, to me, it's awesome. Like I said, I haven't been there in 3 years, but I still feel awesome in the fact that people that are going to come there after me are going to benefit from generous sponsors like that.
And the military, they ain't going to upgrade that anytime soon. They're not going to upgrade that. Like if they duct tape their fighter jets, they ain't buying a new Rogue barbell. That's just how it's going to be.
No, they are not.
Yeah, so check them out, man. Really good people.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about them.
Yep, absolutely. So moving on to this week's episode, this was kind of a hybrid mishmash of different comments that we had, people asking us questions like, well, why do certain gyms do X? Why do certain gyms do Y? And we kind of put these all under one umbrella, and we're going to call this one Outside the 60 Minutes.
Right.
And what we mean by that is we're going to talk about, just like the premise of this show, we don't talk about like how to become faster, stronger, better. We're talking about things, periphery to CrossFit, but will help you become a better CrossFitter and eventually, hopefully, to help you become a better human.
And issues that are going on inside of CrossFit gyms
that you don't talk about.
That you don't talk about and piss members off.
Yeah.
It does. And that's, if we're going to be honest, they aren't happy about certain things. And that's a lot of our topics get.
Yeah, and that's fine. And that's great because that seems to be where the direction of our show is. We're kind of the sounding board or the voice
of you all
of you guys, the listeners, who are 99% of you are CrossFit athletes anyway. So
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, because I share same views, all the same views that you have. I feel you, and I'm with you, and I'm an owner. Like it's great on a couple facts. It sucks for y'all because you have to go through it. That's just the reality of it. I always hate that, but it's great that the issues that I see and I get tired and fed up with and just annoyed with that goes on, you all feel the same way. And you guys are what matters.
Yeah.
Because without you at their gym and paying that monthly membership, they ain't going to have a gym.
Yeah.
They have to have you. And if they piss enough of you off, which it seems to be happening, they ain't going to have a gym.
Yeah.
It's just,
and that's unfortunate, but
yeah,
as business owners, you have to, again, I don't own a gym.
Yep.
Look,
he's going to own one. Either I'm going to force him into owning one. Something's going to happen, guys. Like, I think we should start a hashtag Mo's Gym 2019.
Anyway.
Yeah. New hashtag. I'm telling, they're catching on fire, baby.
So as far as, again, I'm not an owner. I have been an athlete, but given the jobs I've had in some of the trainings that I've had in my college career path, learning a lot about business psychology, finances, and, just generally dealing with customer service, which is part of what we do here
every day.
And seeing some of the challenges and frustrations when athletes, quote, customers, have.
I hate calling them that.
I hate calling them that too, but
for this purpose.
Yeah, we were just using that word. But when you don't take care of the customer, your business is going to suffer.
Yeah, we've talked about so many things that, it's so simple. Clean your freaking bathrooms, right? Like, take the trash out, like sweep it. Just the little things go so far in a gym. If your members are all about being foo-foo and like you can't have a speck of dirt somewhere, well,
maybe they should go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like, because as clean as you can make a CrossFit gym, it gets dirty that next class. Like, the chalk is away, then it comes back. It just chalk just it hangs in the air, and like it's crazy.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at how far chalk can reach, because whenever I DJ the competitions here, I'm on the second deck, and when I go home to clean my gear, there's just chalk in the weirdest places. It's in my speakers, it's in my mixer, it's in my microphone, in my ear.
Got him in the butt crack. But no, I think it's so simple as owners to do the right thing, but they get away from doing the right thing when that honeymoon stage kind of wears off.
And also sometimes, during off the show when we were talking prior to this, is sometimes you don't know what you don't know because you're just mimicking behaviors that you've witnessed in the past from other facilities.
Jeez, this could be a whole nother episode, to be honest with you, because so many people start gyms because
they're leaving and they're not happy with something.
They're not happy with the direction, frustrated, whatever. And people will be like, oh no, we're on great terms. Are you kidding me? I know exactly everything about what happened. So don't fake that, we're on great terms. You started a gym because you're tired of the direction. You thought you could do better than them. Okay. Because you weren't getting out of that what you could. You think you can do it better.
You can do better. Yeah.
So you started a gym. Does it mean there has to be drama? No.
No,
does
absolutely
that
not.
mean 90% of the time there's drama. It's just the way it is. So I don't know, man. You leave the gym to start another gym, but then you do exactly what they did at the same that you just left. It drives me nuts. You run the programming the same. You run all the stuff that you hated. You run the same because guess what?
That's what you know.
It's what you know, and you don't want to break that mold. And because
you saw it work somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's like Mo's like the last podcast. I'm like, we do it different here. I always use that. And I'm tired of using that, but it's the truth. We do it different here because you know why? Because I learned everything not to do at the other gyms I was at. Like, don't do this because it's horrible. Don't treat people like this because it makes them feel this way. Don't have clicks because this is what happens. You think all this stuff is just off the top of my head? No, this is my experience as a CrossFitter. I learned more what not to do at my other gyms than what to do at my other gyms. And I put my spin on it. Rant over.
So we're talking about this outside the 60 minutes. When I'm saying the 60 minutes, you're going to go in, you're going to do a warm up. You're going to get your whiteboard brief. You're going to mobilize and stretch a little bit. You're going to do your strength. You're going to transition. Then you're going to do your WOD. Then you're going to write your numbers on the board. And sometime during that 60 minutes, there might be a moment where you can get you should be getting some correction routinely during a 60-minute class. Should be. I'll put that in air quotes.
That's sad that we even have to put in freaking quotes, dude. It's so sad. Why? What do you mean you should? What the hell are you paying for? I mean, why is there a trainer if you're not being corrected, Mo? Why are you even there? Are you to watch them?
Well, for me, like,
no.
I mean,
yeah, right. Like, if they're not getting corrected, why the hell are you even there? 3, 2, 1, go. Well, that's it. Hell, the own timer does it now.
Well, but that damn clock is hard to program, though.
That stupid clock. Rogue, that Echo clock. Ugh.
Well, I like it better than the one I had previously.
You must have had a really bad one because this one drives me nuts. But you know what I mean? What is the point? If they should be getting correction. If you're not getting correction,
you should be.
You should be. And if you're happy with not getting correction, then you just go to the why.
But again, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. In my CrossFit career, when someone isn't telling me something, that leads me to believe I'm doing something correctly.
Until you look at everybody else and yours didn't look like theirs, and you know it's wrong, and then they tell you good job. Oh, great job, Billy. I'm going to use Stu stuff.
Yeah.
Great job, Billy. Way to do that snatch. Oh my gosh. He landed freaking on his tiptoes. Knees were going over him. His arms were behind his head, and his head was looking straight up at the bar.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, don't tell me good job when it definitely was not a good job.
So again, you should be getting some correction during that 60-minute period, a little bit of coaching, but on average, like my classes, I'll probably have about 10 athletes, sometimes less, sometimes more. So do I have the opportunity to give them as much training and coaching during that WOD as they may need to become more proficient? Not always. It oftentimes requires me to pull them aside or just offer them the opportunity. Hey, if you have a couple minutes after class, let's go over this because I saw some things that we should probably work on to either make you more efficient, maybe a little bit safer, or maybe we need to identify a scale for you because you weren't able to execute this movement during today's workout appropriately. Or conversely, if you're on the fringe of getting something, I think a lot of things people ask their coaches about is like those high skill gymnastics movements, handstand push-ups, muscle ups, pistols, all those types of things. And you might not get the chance to be able to give them the fine-tuned detail information in a WOD just because you're trying to watch, 10 other people and maintain a safe environment while still giving everybody their individualized feedback. So go ahead.
No, I think something to attach onto that. There's a time where it's hard to make corrections. I'm going to get Grace, Isabel, Elizabeth, these
hurricanes,
these fast workouts to where we're talking we're 4 minutes or less on all those, Diane, and there's not a lot of time to correct. You better be quick with your cues, but we make sure we hit those on the whiteboard time. So, because it's hard to coach that class in the essence of you're not going to make in 30 repetitions unless they're new and we're going slower because of their skill set and they're just not. I'm not really concerned. They're not pushing the tempo on the time. We're still in the, like, say they just got a training course, then you can kind of get a little bit into the coaching. But 30 reps or 21-15-9, like you ain't got time. You ain't got time for that. Like now, a 20-minute AMRAP or a 3 rounds for time with a huge set of muscle ups in the middle of it. There's a lot you can accomplish in that time frame, in my opinion.
So when we identify what we can as trainers, and we try and help people as much as we can. I mean, I think safety is the first thing that we want to address, and then after that, probably technique, and after that, probably efficiency. In the middle of a class, so sometimes you might hear that gyms or coaches will offer additional assistance after the class.
Yeah, personal training, skill sessions, clinics, or just any other individualized training that could possibly take place or help augment your health. Right. And that's what we're talking about today with Outside the 60 Minutes. So one of the things we hear about in a lot of CrossFit gyms is they offer personal training. Yeah.
And personal training, by your definition, would be what?
Working on something with a specific goal in mind that, I don't know. I hate saying this. It's not covered in class, but it's just, that's bullcrap, but whatever. I would say working on something in a one-on-one setting towards a specific goal. Okay.
In my experience, being part of the CrossFit community, almost everywhere I've been to, there's an additional fee for getting this extra training.
Yeah.
I've never really inquired like how much, but I think you can probably equate it to like what a normal rate of probably personal training would be. $40-$60, I think, would probably be safe.
Per hour, yeah.
Per hour. And during that session, the trainer should be working on you as an individual on how you can achieve whatever X
you guys sat down and set a goal for.
So, pros and cons to that.
Which one do you want to start with? I mean, I don't know. Me and Mo, we talked about this forever before we even started recording, and I can't stand the. I've always been outspoken, so you already know where I stand. I don't like this additional fee for the personal training because I think a lot of these gyms, they undersell their personal training or their teaching in class to funnel you towards paying for personal training, and that's only been confirmed by so many people I've talked to and that have actually reached out to me even before the podcast and now with the podcast.
And I've never thought about that aspect of it until we got a message a week or two ago when an individual said that that's what his perception was
the message
of what was going on in his gym.
I want to get better at ring muscle ups. I go up to my coach and ask them to help me, and they say, we'll schedule a PT session with me. Personal training. I told Mo, like, this makes my blood boil, honestly. Like, I couldn't imagine a member walking up to me and saying, hey, I want to get better at my ring muscle ups. And then me instantly saying, we'll schedule a PT session. Well, okay. Where have I failed as a coach? Like, that would make me like, okay, what's going on? I should already know everything about them. And I should know if they legitimately can get a ring muscle up or they cannot. If they're, there's certain parameters I know our people have to be at in order to push them to the rings. And I have that in my mind and I know if they've achieved that, but I'll never in my life be able to look at my members and tell them, hey, let's schedule a PT session. And that'd be the end of it.
Just right off the bat without even trying to help them for 15 minutes or so.
I think that's very critical. Like, there's a lot of stuff, honestly, that it can be an easy correction right after class, or as I was telling Mo, sometimes I'd be like, hey, why don't you come in a little bit before the 3:30 class today? Maybe come in at 2:15, and we'll work together and we'll try to clean this up or whatever it is. Like, is it time out of, away from me? Yeah. You know what? I don't care. Like, I want them to get their skill. Now, as a business owner, people are like, oh, you're dumb for not taking that revenue stream. And I'm like, well, you're dumb for not investing your athletes with your time. Because you definitely have failed them if you haven't got them to where they want, to where they need. I know my progression. I know if someone I know is working on the ring muscle ups that we have transferred, we have two athletes. We got a third girl, and they're both girls. We got a third girl that is also getting ready to go to them. If they came to me and said, hey, I really want to get these, I'm like, all right, well, this is where you're at. We're making progress. It just takes time. It really does. It takes time to learn and reps to learn. And I could sit here for an hour and put you all these little fancy, cool little banded rings attached to my pull-up rig and make you feel really awesome about yourself because you're catching it and you're pressing out of a dip. But I don't give a shit because you ain't doing the damn kip on the ring muscle ups.
But also with this, the athlete has to meet certain parameters before we even get to this,
and you should know them.
Yeah, and we should know that as athletes and coaches, as coaches and trainers. Now, granted, the athlete has to put in work because they have to be at a certain stage in the progression for whatever movement. They can't just come to you and say, "Hey, Brody, I know I've only been here a week, but I want you to teach me to do freestanding handstand push-up," and expect you to spend 15 minutes with them and get them through.
Unless you're one of them freaking gymnasts that come in here just already have it.
The only thing I hate worse than gymnasts is swimmers.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're strong as hell on the rig right when they come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fine line. Like, I get the financial side. Okay, if people want to charge for it, go ahead. I'll never do it. And
if you want to share that, because we had a good conversation about that, about your philosophy about
really
charging.
Dug deep on this one, boy.
No, because I just want to know it, because I understand and I value money. Well, obviously, we all need money, and in order to have a business, you have to be able to support your operation and maintenance costs. But bro, drops knowledge on me, and I can totally value like why he approaches this concept in the manner that he does.
I want every person to have the ability to be the best version of what they want to be. So if they want to come in every day of the week, do the strength and workout 5 days a week, okay, they have that ability. They pay for a membership, okay? They're going to get coached to the highest level every single class. We're going to make corrections. We're going to tell them what they're doing wrong and why we're correcting them, and then we're going to give them positive corrections on that. And we're going to make them better every day. That's membership. If we every single day, unless we're in a deload, we have additional work program for anybody that wants it, right? So if Mo's here and he hits it and he's like, man, you know what? I'm really suffering some of these in classes, right? I want to try to get some more work in to get my capacity up, all right? So I'm going to do the additional work. All right, well, it's there for him, Mo, that he wants to do that. If we have high-level competitors that like to compete and they need to get volume in, I've got it programmed based off of our workout that day that they don't collide, that we're going to get whatever we need, it's programmed.
It's going to complement.
It's going to complement the day, right? And then on that, we have our weekends where we come in here and we'll do, 3-hour sessions on the weekend. And it's open. Mo wants to come in. He wants to start hitting maybe 1 or 2 of those a month because we do higher, longer volume workouts in here with certain aspects. He has that ability. What maybe, let's say, Sally,
to borrow an icon from Stu.
Let's say Sally is just like Mo. He's coming every day of the week, wants to start doing some extra work, but she says, hey, bro, can I start doing some of the extra work? Well, yes, but you're going to have to pay me another $60 a month to have access to it. Oh, really? Yeah, that's just what we do here. So I'm sorry, but that's just the fee that we charge. Well, I really don't have $60. Well, I'm sorry. Well, you can't do the additional work. Now I'm the asshole. All right. She wants to get better and I'm stopping her from getting better because she can't afford it because maybe she makes 28 to 35,000 a year and she's already strapped to even pay for CrossFit. And let's say she's an athlete that could do much better in classes, but now I've told her no. All right. So now she wants to come in. Well, how about your Sunday classes? Can I go ahead and can I come anytime on those and do those workouts with you guys? Yeah, you can, but it's going to be $10 a class. Really? Yep. Yep, you got to pay $10 a class. So if you want to come in, you just you're have to commit to this money. Oh, okay. Well, now I'm the asshole again. I'll never be that person. If Mo wants to get better, he has every ability here to get better, and there's no amount of money that's going to keep him from doing that. If he wants it, it's done. Now all he has to invest is that time, and the time and the effort and what you call the sweat equity of that, what it's going to take to get there and progress you. And I will never limit someone because they are in a financial hardship, because we've talked about the cost of CrossFit is not cheap. People make sacrifices to do what the everyday class, let alone these fees on top. Does that mean that every gym should do that? I don't care what every gym does, but I tell you what, they're going to be like, well, you're missing money. I'll tell them, they're going to say, you're missing money on this revenue stream. Yep, probably. But maybe I'm gaining that money on the back end because my members don't leave because I don't nickel dime for all this bullshit. Right? Because I want the best for them. They know I want the best for them. I'm going to provide the best for them. Yeah, I'm programming. So guess what? Let's say I had 15 people paying me for this additional work, right? And they're paying me for this programming. I've programmed it. Well, it's already done. The work is done. So what is it if 15 more people want to do it and they don't pay anything? So if the work is done, what's it matter? Yeah, 15, you're paying it, but just because 15 more do it doesn't mean I'm changing what I'm going to program. It's already done. The work is done. So yeah, I'm doing the work, and maybe I could charge one person a fee and then give everybody else for free. That'd be a dick move. But I'm just saying, like, it takes me time, but I enjoy it. I enjoy getting the best out of my athletes. I enjoy them having the option. I love what it creates in our community for people to snag a rower, right? And they push it out there because we had let's say we had a 5K sprint with it was in intervals like 2K, 500, whatever. And they're getting ready to do it. And then someone's just sitting here and they just finished working out and they look over and say, hey man, come on over. You do this for me. I want to suffer together.
Or if someone just comes over to record a podcast and someone comes and say, hey Mo, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? I'm here to record. Oh, well, you're not recording for another hour. Hey, do this extra work with me. Yeah, I got suckered into that.
He did. And you know what? Imagine one of our members.
But on that particular day, like I said, I really needed that. So I as much as it sucked, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
But imagine one of our members who don't know if they're on the super cool competition plan or not, says, hey, come and do this extra work with me. And they say, well, I'm not paying for it. What the hell? Is that what kind of community you want? Is like they want to bring someone else that's part of your gym.
And for me, I'm not even a member here.
Right. Mo, you want to do this extra work? Okay, cool. It's going to be $25 because you're not a member of our gym.
Plus $160 for a monthly membership.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, for those of you guys that haven't caught up to speed, but yeah, I'm not a member of Brody's gym. I'm not an owner. I'm a coach at a different gym, AKP, but I come over here to record, and every once in a while I get goaded into a workout.
They don't twist too hard, but people here they'll prod you a little bit. They'll get you going, because
nobody wants to do it alone.
Yeah, and there's a group of people doing it that day, and I don't know, man. It just drives me nuts. I can't imagine just even thinking about that because I never even thought about that way till we started talking. One of my members calling across and saying, "Hey, come do this with me. It's going to be fun," and when it's really not going to be fun, and they say, "Well, I can't because I'm not paying for it." I can't, man, and then. You imagine how it's going to make that member feel that they just embarrass them, okay? Because they don't know, because maybe they're not sharing that, and then how that person feels sitting there wishing they could go do it, but they don't have another $60 a month to drop on top of the 140 they're already paying. Like, it just, God, it sucks.
Yeah, we've said it many times. This fitness lifestyle is not cheap.
No,
I mean, when I was going to the gym and gym wrap 5 days a week, I didn't have 3 different pairs of shoes and wraps and headbands and all this other stuff. It was, I just went to the gym, did my workout, drank my protein on the way home, and that was about it.
Right.
So this in of itself is not cheap.
Well, as an owner, there's people who fall in times of financial hardship. Okay.
It happens to everybody.
I've been so financially broke before. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not sitting here making it rain. Like I've said, now I'm not, once we get all these sponsors lined up though, I'm just kidding. So I understand. And I know how much it sucks to be able to not do something that you love, right? And being stripped away from it because you can't financially afford it. And I just could never imagine it would emotionally wreck me as an owner, and I would feel complete and utter guilt if I started charging people for the stuff I'm programming and them not be able to do it. That would just be, we would not be the gym that we are without a doubt. Without a doubt. Our culture would not be what so many people love that even visit. It would not be what it is because it would be now segregated who has money to do it and who doesn't. And that's bullshit.
Now, going away from the PT sessions, there are other things that are offered outside of your 60-minute normal class.
Right.
And we want to make sure we differentiate these different things and talk a little bit about all of them and where we see the role of each of these particular things. So the next one we want to talk about is clinics. Now, so by definition, I think a clinic would be something, it's going to be a group setting. Specialty course, yeah. It's going to be a group setting. It's not going to be one-on-one anymore.
Right.
It's not going to be tailored to a very small percentage of your athletes, which generally your competitive athletes make up maybe 5 to 10% of your entire population.
Right.
Now, a clinic is just an opportunity for someone to work on a specific skill.
Right. Let's say
in a group setting.
Yeah. Let's say we snatch and clean every week in here, a percentage based snatch and clean work every week in here plus and workouts. Let's say we are doing these corrections and we're getting people to, we're making our corrections during class and they're applying them, but it's once a week for that movement for that first 15, 20 minutes that we're doing it, right? There's only so much that you can apply and learn in that time frame, but you can progress and you will progress. Our people do progress. But if you give someone a 3-hour block that's covering the snatch or a 3-hour block that's covering the clean, right? Then now you have so much more time to invest into everybody and show them some little nuances that are very small that maybe they can't. If I was to give them a cue to do it, if they were like say a newer weightlifter, or let's say they've been lifting for about a year, because I still think that's very inexperienced compared to if I went to Kara, Angie, Jenna, it goes down the list who are experienced. I can give people who are on the higher level of lifting more minute, small corrections.
Micro corrections.
Yeah, that I could never give this person. Well, now I can give it to them after explaining certain steps to get to that micro correction and get them to that level. So clinics are great for that because people are like, well, okay, you charge for a clinic and you don't charge for PT. What the hell's the difference? That's the difference right there. They cannot get all this 3 hours of one movement in one class setting.
Yeah, in a 60-minute class.
Yeah, because we have strength, we have a workout, we have our mobility warm up. That's it.
Yeah, and for me, like when I coach my classes, I have like an average around 10 athletes, which I think is an excellent ratio.
Yep, I agree.
And I have a lot of opportunity to help give some individual cues, but I can't break someone down in a 20-minute workout when I have 9 other athletes I have to tend to, plus the clock, plus making sure everybody's moving safe.
Plus other movements.
Yeah.
You could have maybe it's a 3 or 5 of that snatch or clean.
Yeah.
So that's what you have. And you have 10 people and they're all at different
stages
of the workout.
And they're all different scales.
Right. That's where cues come in huge. And that's what I'm talking about, those micro things. I can give real quick, subtle micro stuff to our advanced lifters. And then I have to be a little bit different with people who aren't on that level yet. But clinics gives you great opportunity to do that.
To augment your toolbox.
Absolutely. And I think if you run a legitimate clinic, like I was just telling Mo, I'm eventually going to open up our clinics that we run in-house for people outside of our gym, which we've never done. But I have several clinics I've run through our own members, some free, some costing, that I think people might do. I don't know. It's sort of like this podcast. I really didn't think people would listen to me. I really don't know if anybody would sign up for one, right? I really don't. Maybe Mo would. I know he still hasn't left me a Google review, so I don't know. But Stu get him. And it's kind of maybe it's an insecurity of mine. I know what the hell I offer is legitimate, but maybe I don't think people really give.
It's the fear of the unknown sometimes.
Maybe they don't care, Mo. Maybe they don't care what I can give them. So I don't know.
We'll find out. Another thing that some gyms offer would be a skill session, and
which I'm unfamiliar with. Is what Mo was saying.
The skill session it's kind of referred to as a mini one-on-one. So maybe like a 30-minute just get you to help understand one or two cues or one or two fine points about, let's say, double unders. Like you have that one athlete that just, they can do like they get those miracle double unders where they can do one or two like every other workout, but they just can't string them together. And maybe it's just something as simple as, well, your rope's too short, or your hand position is poor, or your jump is you're jumping from one stall mat to the next stall mat. Just those little bitty things, just one-on-one time, but not a full hour. And that's a new phenomenon I've seen lately. It still kind of falls under that thing that Brody just mentioned earlier. There's a financial cost to that.
Yeah, it's half.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Oh, instead of $60, it's $30, but you get half the time.
Yeah.
It's the same damn, it's the same ratio. Mm-hmm. It's just whatever.
And I think a lot of this is just dictated by the direction of your ownership.
Yep, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
People look at me and think I'm stupid, and that's okay.
And for all you trainers out there, I wouldn't encourage you to go and do anything that's against the direction of your owners. Because like if I was one of Brody's trainers and I started charging people $60 an hour, he'd probably get a little pissed off.
Yeah, Mo would no longer be a trainer.
Yeah, and vice versa. Like if my gym charges $60 an hour and I'm just giving people free, 15, 20-minute sessions, your owner might have an issue with that. So,
but then again, I would never ask Mo to be a trainer if that was his thoughts. As much as it goes into my thought on programming and our atmosphere and our people and the business, like it goes into asking someone to actually be a trainer at our gym.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asked to train at our gym, we're not these elitists, but it is because I have full faith and confidence in that you could be a good trainer, mm-hmm. and that you will, and you do believe in everything that we offer as a gym, mm-hmm. and you'll continue to press that on as a trainer. And that's it.
Without going rogue.
Yeah, rogue is bad here. It's just, it doesn't work. And it's not because I'm this asshole dictator that it's my way or the highway. No, everything I have done and will do is a long, thought out, methodical process. Mm-hmm. Nothing is random here. I don't just, I have an idea and then put it in execution. Like,
about the only thing you do random is like when you pick teams for in-house comps.
That's it, dude. Or we started doing it last 2 years. We started doing random draw for actual ones we pay for. Like we sign up.
Oh yeah. You did that for my comp. Yeah.
Yeah. We did it for another comp too this year too. So we've done it twice this year and we did it a couple other times last year. But yeah, so you sign up and you pay. You don't even know who the hell your team is, but we know we'll sign up to RX, whatever. But yeah, that's just to keep it cool. And there's some competitions where we'll go and we'll just want to have some fun. And it's not really about winning it, but we actually do pretty good. But yeah, nothing random. So everything's a thought out process and it will always be that. And that's why Mo, if I asked him to be a coach, it would be he would know fully just from our relationship as an athlete to me as his coach and owner then, that if I asked him that, it's because I have full faith in him as a person, that he wants to continue our direction as a gym and that he believes in our atmosphere and our philosophies. And then I think that I trust him. I don't trust anybody coaching my people. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And I don't think any owner should just blatantly you have an L1. Hey, here's a whistle.
Talk about another episode.
Here's a whistle and the clock button or in the clock timer.
How many owners drool when someone just randomly signs up for an L1 and they're like, hey, you want to teach a class? Because they don't want to teach it. And that's like, maybe I can see that. Whatever. I'm not getting to that one. That's a long, deep rabbit hole.
All right. And to round out, talking about outside the 60 minutes, some of your facilities may offer nutritional advice.
Yep.
Now, that's something you're absolutely not going to cover in a 60-minute class. While I'm at the whiteboard, I'm not going to sit there and talk to you about your macros. That has no time or place, in your normal 60-minute class. So these are things that'd
be pretty cool though if the warm up was we cook and eat, but I couldn't eat because I'd puke.
Yeah, I can't eat before I work out either. No. These are those additional like value added type things that can help augment your performance on the floor, undoubtedly.
Yeah,
as we talked about in the nutrition episode. I think charging, and then some people say, well, why would you charge for nutrition or why would you charge for nutrition but not charge for your additional programming?
Yeah. Yep. You just answered it because it cannot be attained during a normal 60-minute class.
Mm-hmm.
The additional programming is the reason for me to not charge, which I've said, is because I will never make someone not be able to get to their fullest if they want to be because of a financial burden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the nutrition, I can give them like you said, I can give them some advice. Someone asked me, let me back this up. I had this guy one time. I'm not even going to say his name, but some people will know who I'm talking about. Long time I was in the Globo gym. I go up and talk to this guy, and I had just started working out again. It was just kind of getting the
back and by, chest and try, skip leg day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I was talking about, I said, there's this debate. Should be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And why does sometimes that go to 1.5 or 2 grams per pound?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I go up to this guy, ends up being a real douchebag his whole life, still to this day. And I asked him this question. What I just said. What's it, like, when should you do that? And he'd be like, well, I could tell you, but I have to charge you. I said, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you kidding me right now? You're going to charge me $60 to answer this question? Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'll try to find it. Like, but you know what I mean? That's just how lame this can be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the nutrition cannot be covered during a class time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But
it's completely separate from the workout.
It is. And you could say, people could debate this all day long because that's what people like to do. But I still think you can charge, like, okay, for example, we charge $75. I don't put our financials out there too much, but we charge $75 for the initial consultation, which is it could be up to 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very in depth.
Well, that first one's got to be pretty in depth.
Yeah, because they get,
not in addition to just the conversation. I mean, I'm sure you have to weigh them, measure them, all that good stuff.
Besides weighing and measuring, I think the biggest part of the conversation is like, what do they even understand about nutrition?
Okay.
Right.
So breaking barriers there. Yeah.
And then explaining what we do here. Okay. And why we do what we do, and explaining they don't even know what their energy sources are. They think that if they
eat 90 chicken breasts a day,
they think peanuts are protein when it's really a fat.
Uh-huh.
Right. I mean, that's how it's measured. It's not measured like, here, eat 18 peanuts. I'm going to measure it as a protein, whatever. Mm-hmm. They may not understand certain things like that. And then you have to cover that. And then you have to go into the direction. You have to dissect what they do eat, because most people, they think that they eat enough, or they really don't eat enough. Mm-hmm. Then you got to tell them why they're going to be eating more, but they're going to lose fat. So there's so much that goes into it in that first consultation. But every month after that, we'll do $40 a month. And then we'll adjust your numbers. We'll meet face to face every 2 weeks. We'll reweigh you, which weight to me, it's okay. For some people, you need it.
Yeah.
But our women are going to start weighing more because they're going to, or not change, because they're going to lose
their
inches,
body composition changes.
And they're getting stronger, right? And our guys, sometimes, whatever. But we'll meet twice a month at that point, face to face, and adjust your numbers as needed per how your body's responding to that. And in my opinion, when I was doing the pricing, this was actually brought up to people in our nutrition, because we used to only offer once a month, one month. That's it. No continuation. Now people wanted like I said, in nutrition, they wanted someone to speak to.
That long tail after action.
When you have to speak to someone and show them that you have to meet, and you have to show them where you're at.
The accountability.
The accountability is huge on that one. And I'm thinking, well, what would be fair and whatever. So we charged $40 a month. I thought that was more than worth my time and highly affordable for someone who wants to invest into that.
Yeah, I totally agree. So again, talking about outside the 60 minutes, covering things that you're just not going to get in a class. And, I sit here and I shrug my shoulders, because for being an athlete, being a trainer, there are just certain things I'm not going to learn in class. There are certain things I have to focus on and do extra work in order to become more proficient at them. There's just no two ways about it.
And you want to do it, but do you want to pay the money to do it? Right.
I'm willing to pay the cost, because there always is a cost, whether it be time, resources,
We're
whatever.
talking about the financial side.
The financial side.
Mo wants to dedicate an extra 3 hours a week at the gym doing what he needs to work on.
Mhm.
Does he want to pay the cost for that? And that's where, should you even have to debate it? You've already made the commitment for the time.
Mhm.
You want to put the energy, you're focused on what you want to do. But now it's like, shit, $60. Like I already pay 140, 150, 160, 180.
Dude, that's how much I pay for my protein.
I mean, but we're not even talking about that. Like your supplements cost on top of what your monthly membership is. So
I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh, you're already paying. You're gonna pay like $1,000 a month, Mo, just to
be fit.
Now Mo wants to do it. Now he's like, well, okay, I've committed. I'm ready to do this. But shoot, I don't know if I want to pay $60 more, like or 100. Some people may charge more. I don't know what people charge. I know what some people charge, but I don't know. Would you?
It all depends. You know, I'm not.
He was fully committed until we asked him about the money.
No, and it's but the funny thing is like I said, you're the only place I've ever encountered that doesn't charge for this extra stuff. So for me, it's like it was an anomaly when you told me about it, and I was like, wow, you don't charge?
Yeah.
And then bro, he broke me down on why he doesn't charge, and I can see the value in that. But I think because culturally within CrossFit, we've always charged for that.
For everything.
Yeah, we've always charged for everything.
It's
and I'm not saying what bro's doing is wrong, but I can totally see how he measures that value because of the fact that when I walk in here on a routine basis, almost everybody's doing additional programming because it's available to them, and sometimes, like you said, they drag people into it with them because no one likes to do it alone because it's after you've had a nice workout, doing some extra work, it can be a little rough.
Yeah, and our extras definitely can be rough, but it can be modified as well. We talk about that, but yeah, it is, man. It sucks. Like people can look. I don't care what people say. What we do, like right or wrong, I don't care. You can say whatever the hell people do, but you can say whatever the hell you want about me and our gym. But our people are happy. They enjoy doing it. They enjoy having access to it, and as long as that is. There's no amount of money I could be paid that's going to give me more satisfaction than that. That's just how I roll. Like if my members are happy and they enjoy doing it and they like putting the work in, shit, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Could I make another $500 a month? Yeah. Is that cool? Absolutely. I mean, I could blow it on so much stuff.
More Xbox games.
I mean, I've only played a couple, but our craft beer would definitely be taken care of on that $500 tab at the expense of me charging my members for doing something they want to do anyways. And, that's what I'm going to ask yourself. Are you committed to it? Right? Are you ready to do it? And then now are you willing to pay for it? That's what let's say we talked about in the nutrition. I was in a rut working out wise, right? Yeah. For about 9 months, I was just in the worst rut. Like it was just bad. I was just mentally, physically, emotionally, all that crap that goes into it. I just could not get out of this hole. And that's why I started, doing the nutrition and getting that back on track and answering to somebody and getting that for me. What happens if someone's in the same thing and now they're finally ready to climb out of that rut and they can't afford to? What if that's the case where they say, I'm so tired of dying through workouts. I want to do something about it, but they can't afford to. Now they go buy a $15 membership at Anytime Fitness to just get some extra work in. Is that what you want? No, I want them at my gym. I want them doing stuff that I know I programmed with specific things in goal that will meet their goals. And that's become more fit on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And for this week's call to action, why don't you go ahead and write down in the comments below, tell us some of the clinics that you've been to in the past and tell us what you glean from them and give us some information about them. Maybe we can check them out, whether and maybe they were done at your box so you can rep your box as well. Just let us know, like, what are the extra things that you've been willing to pay for to help become a better athlete?
Yeah. Did they help? That's another, I mean, did your clinic you paid for, did it help? Did you get knowledge from it? Because that's why you pay the additional money, right? Did it help? That's what I'm interested in. So let me know, did it help? Was it worth the money?
Yeah, there you go.
And would you do it again?
Yeah.
Right? Because if I go to a good clinic, Mo, I pay to do it again. I really would.
There you go. I think that's a good indicator of the quality of the clinic.
Would you pay to do the exact same clinic again?
Yeah. That's pretty solid.
What? Dang, Mo, I'm like, you're like speechless over here. I don't know what's going on.
I am. No, that's
what's
solid.
going on, Mo? Like, you're speechless.
All right, so that brings this week's episode to a close. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, 7.5 Clothing, making badass gear for your badass ventures. That brings this week's episode to a close. I'm Mo, and I'm out.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the One More Rep podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at One More Rep Podcast, or on Twitter at Can I Get One More, or shoot us an email at canigetonemore@gmail.com.
Because you've seen human beings at their worst, you know, being in law enforcement. I'm gonna go get rid of that bird, dude.
Where's it?
Come on, dude. Out. There you go. Man, we got it. Dude, hey, bird. He's killing me.
I'll fucking kill him. You want me to kill him? Give me a weapon. He's not
throw
a
a
horse,
cookie at
though.
him. Yeah, I know.
Like,
That's all I'm used to dealing with is horses.
He'd be like, and then he'd go back to eating.
Yeah,
Or come over to you.
yeah,
He ain't coming to you.
yeah. He's not.
You want me to get him?
Just if we could get him out of the here, it'd be helpful because he's killing me.
It left.
Good.
Bird gone.
Sorry about that, guys, but you've heard the bird there, and it finally flew out. So, whew. And Brody was about to bring his Mossberg in here.
That'd be bad.